Super dope. Hey, what's up? This isn't a real episode, okay? But you still gotta listen to it anyway, because I'm putting it out. You ready to listen? Let's talk. Spoilers dropped last night. Chapter 81 for Dragon Ball Super Manga. It's entitled Goku's Conflict. It's not really spoilers, it's just the drafts. Like, it's not like that long 15-page synopsis motherfuckers type out each month about like, then this guy gets punched, then that guy gets kicked, then this guy blows up some rocks. It's not that shit. It's just a couple of drafts and some loose translations as provided from some Dragon Ball Facebook page that I don't particularly care for. But they're always first with those translations, know what I mean? Also, if you're somebody who sends me these, I super appreciate you looking out. But I see them, like, unless I'm sleeping, almost immediately. Like, usually within 15 minutes. So I appreciate you looking out, but by the time people send them to me, I'm like, yeah, I read this, I know. I make a Dragon Ball podcast. Anyway, Chapter 81, Goku's Conflict. Alec, he has since shown up to the battlefield. Gas is really scary, dude. Got those big old tusks on the side of his head. And he does this thing where he just kind of looks at Goku and Vegeta. His eyes get all womp. And suddenly, I don't know how to best say this. I guess suddenly the gravity or the weight. Let me just read this translation. My body feels so heavy. The more we try to move and use our power, the heavier it gets and crushes our bodies. I get it. Gotta immobilize those boys somehow, so that way you can have a true Granolah gas finish. And gas just standing there giving them the fucking stink eye is enough to keep them in place, and it feels like it's crushing their bodies. That's how powerful this dude has gotten. Alec gives the order. Kill them. He's like, all right. And then Granolah comes charging in, and he's like, I can never forgive you. Finally, Granolah is going to be able to throw some hands at the dude who really does deserve all of this kind of hate that he's got going on in his heart. I can never forgive you. Basically, Gas so powerful now, he teleports Alec from his current location to another location up top, some little plateau. And Granolah misses his punch, and he's like, my punch missed? What the? And that gives Alec the ability to talk a little bit of smack before I hope he gets punched in the fucking mouth. How dare you attack your contractor? You killed my mom! Don't be a fool, Granolah. Thanks to me, you're still alive. You're still alive! Your mom's dead, but you are not. It's not just my mother. Because of you, everyone else also died on this planet. Pretty much, yeah, except you and Manito. Dumbass Manito made the fucking cut. Granolah gets together his finger guns, double finger guns, to make one big, huge finger gun in the middle. Is this how you repay your savior? I could have killed you anytime. Even now. And then that's when Gas comes in and gives Granolah a pretty solid kick to his forearms. I'm not gonna lie, dude. It looks like he breaks Granolah's arms in this shot. It's actually pretty gnarly. Or I think it'll be gnarly when it's all said and done, but you can see the arch in Granolah's arms from where Gas's leg is making impact, and it looks like he's about to break this dude's arms. No more double finger guns for you, man. That's the spoilers. I'm fine with it. I'll tell you why I'm fine with it. Get this shit over with. If you want to have Granolah go out in some kind of blaze of glory that ultimately saves everybody, cool. Get it over with. Please. Shit's boring. Also, the gas power-ups, I don't know, if it helps, I'm looking at it as a means to an end at this point. It's if these crappy, out of nowhere power-ups for Gas, where he can look at Goku and Vegeta now, even though Goku, last chapter was helping Granolah out, Vegeta took a kick from him the last chapter, whatever. Now it's he can't even get looked at by this dude. That's how powerful he is. Totally immobilizes our heroes, takes them out to fight. I don't know. Like, if Granolah can still keep going toe to toe with Gas at this point, I imagine he's doing a number on how much time he has left. And, the amount of hours is probably dwindling down if he's continuously coming back after getting his ass knocked out. It's one thing I got to say I really enjoy about Granolah. Granolah is probably one of the better parts of this story as a whole. The Hida Gang's kind of meh. And I like that we got to spend time with Granolah, at least a little bit more in the front of it. Not as much as we should have, but to see him get his ass whooped repeatedly and continuously making that comeback, it's cool, man. It's cool. It works that I'm not seeing Goku and Vegeta have that kind of stuff happen right now because, they're not really on the level of these guys now, I guess, at this point. Gas, though, like, I don't know. If he can look at a motherfucker and freeze them in place and make it feel like it's crushing their body, and I don't have to see Vegeta and Goku trying to spare a couple of minutes so Granolah can get back up off the ground for the 5th time, okay, fine, just get it over with, please. You're torturing me. So that's the spoilers, or the drafts, I should say, for this week. I got a lot of good compliments from you guys on the advice podcast last week. Like I said, interesting trio of me, Rayshawn, and Kelly. I absolutely love the dynamic between the three of us. So I think we're going to be doing another one of those in a few weeks. But part 2 of that first initial advice pod, whatever we're calling it, part 2 of that discussion is now available on our Patreon. If you want to go listen to it right now, it is free. While you're there, consider signing up. I would appreciate whatever support you can throw our way. But in order to get you over there, I'm giving this episode away for free. Speaking of patrons, or Patreon, we have a longtime patron, Brian Melchiori. Whatever reason, dude, he was just feeling up to it the other day. He's like, you know what? I know I've been giving you $5 a month for some time now, and now I shall give you $10 a month. I don't even know what the difference is between that $5 and $10 a month package, but Brian, you're a real one, and you've got the funnest last name, or at least like among the funnest last names in the world. Melchiori, thank you. Yeah, that advice pod should be out later on this week, probably Thursday, maybe Friday, but probably Thursday. The important thing is I finished it last night. I've been in like really heavy editing mode. I've been editing so much the last couple of weeks for new clients coming on board, which is dope. Super happy that I'm getting to work on a handful of new shows now and taking this producer Kyle thing to hopefully another level, a more consistent level in terms of income. But man, the shittiest part about being a freelancer, 2 things, right? You ready? Freelance podcast producer, shittiest thing. 1, every motherfucker wants to start a podcast. Every one of them. You want to start a podcast, I bet. What's your podcast about, hombre? You need some help launching it? Don't talk to me about launching it unless you're serious. So what a lot of people will do is they'll like put out want ads on freelancer websites and be like, I need somebody to handle A, B, C, D, E, F, G for me to be able to have a podcast every week. And I'm like, yeah, all right, I do that. Let's talk. Let's get your show off the ground. And they're like, oh, there's work to do now? I thought me hiring you was the work that I had to do. It's like, nah, dude. Ain't nobody want to hear me talk about your bullshit whenever realm you're in. You know what I mean? People barely want to hear me talk about Dragon Ball. So that's number 1. Yes, there is work to do after you put out the initial want ad. And then 2, it doesn't even matter what freelance line of work you're in. All my graphic design friends can certainly relate to this plight. It's getting people to pay their fucking bills afterwards. I did you a service. Don't make me click remind the remind button on my invoices. Don't make me do that, dude. I don't want to do that. Makes me seem like a dickhead. You don't want to have to see the reminder because it makes you seem like a dickhead. Remind you that you have to pay another bill. Zoosh, you know what I mean? All right, so yeah, not a real episode this week. Very quick check-in. I've actually got to run to another meeting for other podcast stuff because that's what I'm doing. But Advice Pod is up for free now on Patreon if you want to go check it out. go check it out. There's a link in the show notes. You click and boom, you're there and you're listening. I think I like part 1 better. I like shit about part 2 too. 2 as well. I also like part 2. I think there's some things I like about part 2 better than part 1 now that I'm thinking about it. But part 1, we had a lot of funny shit in there. And I'm sorry to everybody that we disturbed with that masturbating dad in the living room story, but expect more shit like that, dude. I bet you're not going to forget that podcast for a minute, right? Tell your fucking friends about it. Like, man, I listened to this podcast the other day and they were talking about this poor young British girl who has a dad who just beats off in the living room all willy-nilly, moaning and shit. I bet that's a podcast recommendation you're going to run out there and make this week. Today, in fact. Anyway, I'm done talking to myself. Okay. Dragon Ball Super Dope. Make sure you rate, subscribe, review the show on Apple Podcasts. That's good. I'll read it. Haven't gotten a review in a minute. Sounds like maybe you have to step up and do your goddamn part. In the machine. That is super dope. Leave a review. I'll read it. Want to support the show? Patreon, Cash App, Ko-Fi. Go listen to the Patreon episode. Think about signing up. It's a funny ass episode, dude. Free now. Go. If you're not going to go check it out, I guess fuck you. What did I say all this for? It'll be out later this week. Manga review week after that. I think I got an interview coming up with, I'm not going to jinx myself, but I think we've got a couple of interviews coming up in the not so distant future with some people that I'm excited to talk to. So, next couple months on Super Dope will be fun. We'll get back to movie reviews eventually, but I don't know. I'm yammering, stammering, cleep, clap, Claritin. That's for allergies. Claritin is for your allergies. I wonder if Claritin would give me some money for doing that. Probably not. Probably not now anyway. They're probably like, thanks for the free clout, you fucking nerd. Dragon Ball, you say? Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to sell a lot of Claritin on a Dragon Ball podcast, you jagoff. You killed my mom.